I'm going to do something really bold today and show you how I upgraded my 2019 iMac, turning it from an old machine into a smooth video editing beast. Yeah, upgrading Apple hardware was a big challenge for me. I'm not really a PC guy, and my computer knowledge is pretty basic, but in the end, I pulled it off. So first, I decided to replace the original NVMe 32GB SSD for West Digital Black SNA50X 2TB SSD as the main system drive. No more Fusion drive, that's old technology. Apple used a different SSD connector, so I got this adapter from Temu, Japan. It's super cheap. In the old 1TB hard drive position, I'm gonna put a 2TB hard drive I already own, also a mechanical hard drive, same SATA connect, and using 500GB of it just for Time Machine backups. About Time Machine, in my experience, always use a separate dedicated partition for Time Machine. Otherwise, your hard drive will get horribly fragmented and deleting backups can take days. But with a dedicated partition, you can just erase it in Disk Utility in seconds. Once I decided to swap the storage, I had another crazy idea. Replace the i5 CPU with an i7. But things is, the 2019 iMac didn't even have an i7 option when I bought it. So I wasn't sure if the logic board would support it. Most people online said it's impossible, but I thought, why not? Why not try? Worst case, I'd just put the i5 back, nothing lose. But finally, I still made a conservative choice. Go with the same 8th generation Core i7, 8700, not the more ambitious like a 9th generation i9. Screen adhesive strip for the 27-inch iMac and the tools for opening it I bought from Amazon Japan. I will put a list at the end of this video for the price and where I bought from. I picked up MX6 thermal paste for the CPU and K5 Pro thermal paste for the GPU RAM. I also prepare a CR2032 battery for the logic board, but it's wrong type. You will see what kind of battery Apple used. Actually, I never seen before. Okay, step 1. Slice open the screen adhesive with the special tool, slowly and patiently. I have been using this iMac since 2019, edit my videos. It's got an 8th generation Intel i5 CPU. When I first bought it, it only had 8GB of RAM, so I immediately added another 32GB crucial DDR4 RAM, making it 40GB in total. So I don't need to add RAM this time. 40 is enough, I think. After 6 years, it's gotten slower and slower. Editing in DaVinci Resolve 18 felt really painful. It could barely handle 4K 10-bit clips in Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve, unless I used proxy media. And with HEVC footages on an Intel CPU, forgot it. Exporting a 10 minutes 4K 10-bit HEVC coded video could take whole night. Sometimes I use my newer MacBook Air M2 chip for editing, and yes, the M2 is super smooth, but this 5K Retina display on the iMac, I love it. Once you get used to it, it's hard to go back to anything else. I think a lot of people upgrade their old iMac for exactly that reason, because Apple's new M-chip iMacs don't come in 27-inch anymore, only 24-inch. My iMac had been running macOS Catalina, rock solid, but I couldn't update DaVinci Resolve past version 18, so I want to upgrade. For Intel iMacs, the safe choice is macOS Ventura. So I made a macOS Ventura USB installer. It's easier just following Apple's own guide. And also make sure my Time Machine backups is complete before this upgrade. Once the display is loose, lift it carefully and unplug the cables. Then put it on a safe place. Okay, next will be the left speaker. Inside, the iMac is gorgeous. The power supply, the logic board. Apple's internal design is impressive. That's part of why they last so long. There is a very helpful guide from iFixit.com. Just following that guide, remove the left speaker, then the SATA hard drive. Some people stop here and just replace the hard drive with SSD and use it as the system drive. That's the easiest upgrade, but SATA slot speeds are way lower than the onboard NVMe slot. I want to maximize the performance of the SSD. Plan to use the NVMe slot on logic board, so I'm gonna keep going. You will see the actual speed performance after the upgrade in there later. I took out the power supply, right speaker, and the fan. Now came the logic board. When removing logic board, I used the tape to secure the 4 cables connecting the AirPods and the Bluetooth antennas before disconnecting them. Actually, this isn't necessary, as they are easily identifiable. Removed a screw of various sizes, securing the logic board. After removing the 2 screws on the top of the heatsink, the logic board can be removed. Yeah! I removed the heatsink, cleaned off the old thermal paste. After scraping off the thicker thermal paste, I should use absolute alcohol, but I forgot to buy it. I use electronic cleaner, but the spray-on cleaner wasn't very effective. remove the original SSD. The new Western Digital SSD come with a heatsink, so no need additional heatsink required. Use adapter to mount Western Digital in place of SSD. After replace the CPU with i7, I want to replace the motherboard's coin cell battery, but the CR2032 I bought was the wrong type. Apple uses the BR1632, which is more heat resistant. I stopped by Yodobashi while out for lunch, thinking I may be able to buy the same one. However, they only have the standard CR1632. BR batteries are not commercially available, so in the end I decided not to replace the battery and keep the old one. And I bought back a bottle of absolute alcohol and cleaned the CPU and the GPU properly. Then applied MX6 paste to the CPU and the GPU and the K5 Pro to the VRAM chips. For the VRAM chips around the GPU, the iFixit.com guide recommends using thermal paste or thicker thermal paste such as K5 Pro instead of regular thermal paste, as there's a 1mm gap between the VRAM and the heatsink. So I bought K5 Pro thermal paste. It's pretty expensive. The trickiest step was reinstalling the heatsink. I have to get it perfect in one go. Very careful not to move the heatsink even slightly after it left it onto the CPU. I think about this step for a while. Luckily, I nailed it first try. Okay, Now I'm restoring my iMac. Putting the logic board back should reconnect the USB and the soundboard ports before tightening it down, or they will misalign. It's very trouble if the screw falls into the back of the logic board. Then the right speaker and the fan. Remove the 4 screws on both sides of the original 1 TB hard drive and use them on my 2 TB Seagate hard drive. Install the 2 TB in its original place and connected the SATA cable. Then put in the power supply and left speaker back. After cleaning the original tape residue, apply new screen adhesive tape, but not peeling the adhesive yet. Put the screen back, use some tape to temporarily secure the screen to test bolting. This is a heart-pounding moment. And first, when I pressed the power button, nothing. No screen, nothing. My heart sank. Maybe the i7 isn't compatible? I don't know. But then I hear the very low sound, that very classic, the macOS sound. Dong. That meant it was bolting, perhaps just a display cable issue. Then I tried again. So I reconnected the cables, press power again. Yes. And it's a exciting moment. The white Apple logo. I made it. Okay. Then I sealed the screen, installed macOS Ventura, and restored my files from Time Machine. Now it's an iMac with 3.2 GHz, 6-core Intel Core i7, Radeon Pro 570X 4 GB graphic card, 40 GB DDR4 RAM, with a 2 TB SSD drive combined with a 2 TB hard drive, the mechanical hard drive for bulk storage, running macOS Ventura. Using Blackmagic disk speed test, the new SSD is hugely different, super fast than before, pretty close to my M2 MacBook Air. However, after upgrade, I find that even using the iMac's NVMe slot, it still couldn't reach the Western Digital Black SSD's 7,300 megabits per second. The data here is completely different, also different test items. I don't know why. This is MacBook Air M2 500 GB SSD, still a bit faster. In DaVinci Resolve 20, yes, I upgraded to the version 20. Now I could drop 4K 422 10-bit clips straight into the timeline and play them back smoothly. Now let's try these clips. It's 60 frames per second. It played back very smooth, something that was impossible before, yes. I was thought Intel CPU will be a nightmare when playing HEVC footage in Final Cut Pro or Resolve. But I was wrong, yes. Now play pretty good even without proxies. Here is the upgrade cost. Total about $271 and a day's work. Totally worth it. Now I'm gonna try exporting this video in DaVinci Resolve 20. Let's using HEVC codec. So set H265, UHD 4K, 80,000 kilobits per second. Look, now it takes less than 1 hour. Huge difference. It's really surprised me. Okay, thanks for watching. See you.